going on, Jerome's? So, yes, I know that the Minnesota Vikings drafted JJ McCarthy to be the quarterback of the future and the highest drafted quarterback in franchise history. And, you know, he's got that, oh, gee, shucks personality. All he does is win no matter what, going back to college and high school. And he's got the tools, working on a couple things. And, yes, shortly, in short order, he will be the future of the franchise and lead the Vikings to a dozen Lombardies in the next 10 years. But for 2024, it's going to be Sam Darnold's show in all likelihood. And as long as Darnold doesn't screw the pooch or, you know, give the ball to the other team, which he has had a tendency to do during his NFL career, he's got the talent, he's got the potential, and now he's got weapons and coaching. So I do think that Darnold can play well enough this year to keep JJ McCarthy on the bench. Now, that's not an insult to McCarthy. I actually think that's all a part of the plan from Kevin O'Connell and company, giving McCarthy a full redshirt season. He is only 21. He's got plenty of good football left ahead of him, and getting him marinated and getting him up to speed for the NFL game before just tossing him in the deep end could make sense. And it's not the end of the world. Like, I know that we live in the microwave society. You want it now. Also, you look at anomaly cases like C.J. Stroud last year just coming in and playing at an MVP level. Fully understand that it's like you get a toy on Christmas morning, except you have to wait until next year to open it or play with it. Something like that. But all is not lost. So compiled a short list of quarterbacks who have been highly drafted, who sat for a year or sometimes more. Now, we included Tom Brady on here just to illustrate. I don't know, it happens. But obviously, 6th-round pick. Tom Brady was not highly drafted in 2000, but he sat behind Drew Bledsoe before. Mo Lewis was just like, nah, in 2001. But going back to 99, so Dante Culpepper. That's right. So Dante, in the pick that the Vikings got, number 11 overall from Washington, trading Brad Johnson to go hook up with Norv in D.C., sat behind Randall Cunningham, who got himself a nice contract extension after the 98 Viking season. But unfortunately, he got hurt, and then Jeff George was also in that mix as well. And then Dante took over in 2000, which wasn't all bad. Now, so it comes in fits and starts. So before, I would say, like the late 90s and into the 2000s, like it was very common for teams to draft a quarterback and they would sit. I mean, that's just what you did. Whether you're the number 1 pick, whether you were whatever pick, you were going to sit for a hot second. But then it became, before the rookie wage scale, like guys were paid too much to sit. Like you weren't going to pay Matthew Stafford or Sam Darnold, giving them top 5 quarterback money just to sit as a rookie, and that did warp things where teams were pressured to play guys because they just paid them an assload of money and they wanted some return on investment. And sometimes it derailed guys' progression, sometimes it didn't, sometimes it was whatever. But what's interesting to me, so I forgot. So 2001, Michael Vick, he basically didn't start. Like he started 2 games out of 16, but Chris Chandler was still that guy. It was weird because, again, Michael Vick, number 1 overall before the rookie wage scale came in, and he just sat. So props to Dan Reeves because, I mean, Vick coming out of Virginia Tech, I mean, there was a lot of things to work on. Also 2001, so Drew Brees, 2nd-round pick, except I think he was the first pick of the 2nd round, so whatever. But he sat behind Doug Flutie for a year with the Chargers in San Diego. 2003, a number 1 overall pick, Carson Palmer out of USC, sat behind Jumpin' John Kitna. 2004, so after Drew Brees had gotten established, they drafted Phillip Rivers in the whole Eli Manning swappy swap deal. But he sat behind Drew Brees for 2 seasons before Brees had that shoulder issue and ultimately was let go, and then he signed a free agent deal with the Saints, and we don't talk about what happened after that. Then 2005, allegedly Aaron Rodgers sat behind Bert Favre for 3 years. Again, so Rodgers sat behind Favre for 3 years. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years. Kind of weird how that happens. I included Tebow because people are going to laugh, but Tebow is a 1st-round pick, and besides Peyton Manning, Tebow is the last Broncos quarterback to win a playoff game. Yeah, the Demaryius Thomas, Ike Taylor Steelers walk-off. It's fantastic, man. But Tebow sat for a year behind Kyle Orton. And, of course, the most infamous example is Patrick Mahomes, number 10 overall pick in 2017. The Chiefs trading up from 27 to 10 with the Buffalo Bills. And Mahomes sitting for a year behind Alex Smith. Now, Mahomes is obviously on path to be the GOAT, but remember, there's a lot for Mahomes to work on. And, yes, it is fitting that he was drafted number 10 overall, just like JJ McCarthy. But, I mean, it was not consensus that Mahomes is going to be good. Like, obviously had a lot of arm talent, but, a lot of people question him coming out of Texas Tech. But, sitting behind Smith for a year, completely learning Andy Reid's system, and then hitting the ground running in 2018, I mean, it certainly worked out. Right. So, again, if McCarthy doesn't start in any meaningful way this year, there's a couple things at play. Number one, that means Darnold is good enough to keep the kid on the bench, which, props to Darnold. Could potentially bring him back, or more likely tag and trade him, recoup some draft capital in 2025 and beyond. And McCarthy, I mean, McCarthy's still young. Like I said, like 2.5-year starter at Michigan. He's only had 3 years of college football, and he's working on some mechanics. He's absorbing the playbook, and I want this kid to be 100% ready to go, 100% confident in the entire playbook, not just like a little suite of plays before he's ready to rock and roll. And it's weird. It's like you want him to be able to fully drive before you just put him behind a Ferrari. That's it. That's it, man. So, I mean, if it's a year, don't sweat it. No, don't sweat it. And like we said before, him sitting a year might actually be the best case scenario for the Vikings, because that means you're probably going to get something for Darnold in a tag and trade. Then McCarthy gets that full season of immersion to completely grow and show, and then be ready to rise like a phoenix. The Winter Warrior is going to look good in this kid, right? All right. But your thoughts are thoughts. Taking a look at quarterbacks who sat for a year. There's a couple of interesting names on there. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Most worth the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But next time, Skull Production Value.